Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Trish and I like to talk about Japan and what it's like to live here. If that sounds like something you'd also be interested in, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any future uploads, and let's get into today's video. Okay, so as we all know, the Tokyo Olympics is finally drawing to a close. I say finally because for us living here in Tokyo, we've been waiting for this Olympics to come and go for a long time now. Anyway, the Tokyo Olympics is coming to a close, and regardless of your feelings on whether we should have had the Olympics, whether we should have waited, whether having a super spreader event in the middle of a pandemic is a good idea or a bad idea, everyone who came to Japan for the Tokyo Olympics can all agree on one thing, and that is Tokyo is freaking hot. So with that in mind, I thought I would share a couple of my tips, tricks, little things that I do every year during the summer to make it a little more bearable. So with that in mind, let's jump right into things. One of the cool things about the Japanese language is they tend to have words that describe feelings really well. Like, for example, one word that comes up a lot, or one phrase that comes up a lot during this time of year is Natsubate. And what that means is literally that feeling of exhaustion you get when it's too hot outside to do anything. So one of the ways I find myself dealing with Natsubate every year is to make sure that
as little of the sun is hitting me as possible.
I know that sounds like kind of like common sense, but let me tell you, before I moved to Japan, I never once in my life thought about carrying a parasol with me everywhere I go, but I literally don't leave home without it now. It's probably the item I reach for the most in the summer just because it provides a nice shade, which, I mean, of course, if you've seen a parasol, then you know what it does. It's just an umbrella that blocks the sun and UV rays and all of that nasty crap from getting to your skin. If you come to Japan during the summer season or during a season when the sun is strong, my biggest piece of advice is to carry a parasol. That literally goes for everybody. They make parasols for men, they make parasols for women, they make parasols that could go either or. It doesn't really matter as long as something is blocking that sun from getting to your skin. You've probably seen images of the Asian women wearing the long black sleeves and the visors and the sunglasses and covering every possible inch they can of their skin from the sun. There's a reason for that. I mean, partly it's because most people don't really want to get a sun tan here, but another big reason for that is because the sun is so strong here. I'm not even kidding you. Everything here is concrete, so that concrete acts like a mirror and it just reflects that sun right back at you off of the sidewalk. So the more you can block any of that sun from getting to your skin, the better off you're gonna be. I don't know how else to say, the sun is just really strong here. So if you take away anything from this video, take away the fact that you need to somehow keep that sun off of your skin. Now that could be, like I said, with a collapsible parasol, which if you've watched my video on the rainy season in Japan, you know that collapsible umbrella-like things are the way to go, especially if you're traveling by train. That also applies to this little guy right here. This is a collapsible parasol. I can easily take it out, pop it open, and walk to wherever I need to go, and then stick it in my bag so that I don't forget it on the train or whatever store I go to, or my office, or wherever I go outside of my house. I don't forget the umbrella. We're all good to go. It's not an umbrella, it's a parasol, which, by the way, in Japanese is higasa. So anyway, long story short, carry something with you that blocks the sun. You won't regret it, and you'll probably actually thank me. Item number 2, or at least category number 2, that I think is vital to surviving the summer in Japan is be sure you wear sunscreen. I like to use this Biore UV Aqua Essence. It is SPF 50, and it says on the back here that it is for face. It says on the back that it's for face and body use, so you can use it for both. If you don't want to carry a parasol around or wear a sweater or cover up your arms or anything like that, be sure you're wearing sunscreen because the sun will eat you alive. I really like this sunscreen because it feels like it's really liquidy. So it feels just like you're putting on water. It doesn't feel like a cream, so it's not going to sit heavy on your skin. Also, kind of along the same lines, and I talked about this in the rainy season video, and that is the Biore body wipes and face wipes. Those are also a valuable resource in this season because by the time, okay, just imagine this. You have walked from your apartment to the train station. If you're lucky, that's about a 10-minute walk, so you're already hot and sweaty. You get on a disgustingly hot and sweaty train that is also full of similarly hot and sweaty passengers. You You get to your destination, you walk out of the station back into the sun, you're gonna sweat some more, and maybe you're on your way to work and you don't want to smell like sweat all day.
Gross.
So what can you do? You can wipe down a little bit when you get to wherever you're going so that you don't feel quite as
disgusting.
Also, along those same lines I would suggest investing in a tiny purse size or bag size deodorant that you can carry with you and just kind of, you know, spritz up as you need to. I don't know if anyone has ever actually told you this, but if you're buying deodorant in Japan or you're buying antiperspirant in Japan, it is not as strong as what we have in the West, or at least in America. Like this little deodorant, it smells amazing, but you're gonna have to put it on a couple of times a day because it's gonna fade. So anyway, buy a tiny one, carry it with you, you know, so you don't smell like sweat all day. You'll feel a lot better about yourself. And maybe the people around you will feel a lot better too, because you know, the air won't be so stagnant. Also, while we're talking about wiping sweat off of our bodies, it's probably a good idea to carry a handkerchief or a hand towel with you as well. Again, so you can like sop up your sweat. I promise you. It sounds disgusting, but maybe have a hand towel that's for the sweat sopping and then have a separate one for the hand washing. Just, you know, unless you want to
Wipe your hands with your own sweat.
It's up to you if you're into that kind of thing. I know it kind of sounds like some of the things that I'm saying are like common sense. Speaking as someone who moved to Japan from Texas, where our main mode of transportation was a car, coming here and having the main mode of transportation be the train and your feet, or a bicycle, basically anything other than a car, I kind of didn't think about these things the first summer that I lived here, and it was a struggle. So I kind of like watched the people around me to see what they were carrying around, and another thing that I noticed people were carrying with them were folding fans. And I quickly learned that this, even though you're probably just wafting the hot air onto your face, this feels so much better than just standing in the oven that is outside right now. Generally, when the rainy season ends and the summer actually begins, the wind stops blowing. So anything you can do to create your own wind other than your hand, or even your I guess even your hand's better than nothing, because it literally feels like an oven outside. There's no wind blowing. It's hot. I would suggest buying a folding fan. You can actually buy a folding fan at Daiso for like 100 yen, which is about $1. Or like I got this little cute one from a department store because I thought the lace was really pretty. Anyway, you can carry a folding fan, or you can carry a paper Uchiwa, which doesn't fit as nicely in your bag, but it, like, if you leave it somewhere, you're not going to be as upset because it's just paper. I had one year that was in the shape of a chicken strip from Family Mart. Just a chicken strip shaped fan. It was great, but I lost it because I left it somewhere. Anyway, carry a fan. My next piece of advice would be to carry some way to keep yourself hydrated. So I bought this thermos thing at Starbucks, and I like to chunk a piece of ice in here and fill it up with water, and it stays cold all day. Now, it's up to you if you want to do that. This fits in my bag nicely, so I just, you know, take it everywhere with me. Also, it's from Nagoya, and we all love Nagoya around here. If you're more of a sports drinker, the two, I guess, main sports drinks that you would want to look out for are either Aquarius or Pocari Sweat. Those are going to be like your Gatorade type drinks. They usually sell them in the vending machines at the train stations for like 150 yen, so like $1.50, or you can buy it at the convenience store. I think one more is like green Dakara, this guy. But the two main ones are Aquarius and Pocari Sweat. You probably don't need me to tell you why it's important to stay hydrated, but I will teach you the Japanese word for heat stroke, which is netsusho. So in order to avoid netsusho, we need to stay hydrated, you know, so we don't pass out on the sidewalk, because y'all, have you ever seen that commercial where they're frying an egg on the sidewalk?
Hello.
Maybe not, but you could literally fry an egg on the sidewalk. You might even be able to fry your bacon and toast your toast along with it, because it is freaking hot. And like I said, the concrete acts as like a mirror, blasting that wonderful heat right back up on your body. So stay hydrated, don't have netsusho, stay healthy. The last tip or piece of advice that I have for you if you're visiting Japan, or I don't know, maybe you're new to Japan and you just don't know, because of the times we live in and you know that we have to wear masks everywhere we go, I would advise you to invest in some sort of cooling spray for your mask. I'll put a couple of examples on the screen for you so you can see what I'm talking about. What this is gonna do is it's going to like make your mask feel a little more menthol. So it's not cool per se, like it's not cold to the touch, but it'll feel cooling and hopefully not so suffocating. Along those same lines, I would advise you to choose a mask that is made of cloth and not paper because it's a little more breathable. Unfortunately, wearing a mask in Tokyo right now is non-negotiable. So if you go outside in the heat and you're sweltering and sweating, you still have to wear a mask in public. To make it as painless as possible, I would buy, like I said, a cooling spray to cool it down. Hopefully by the time people are actually traveling in and out of Tokyo, the pandemic will be nearing its end. I think with the mask culture that Japan already had to begin with, I don't see masks going anywhere anytime soon, even if you are fully vaccinated. So best to prepare for that in advance by, like I said, preparing either a cloth mask or buying some sort of cooling spray to spray on your mask. It'll just make it easier on you. A bonus tip is if you're walking around and you find a convenience store, I would suggest buying like a little, it's called Coolish. And it is an ice cream pack that you can hold and like drink. So it's like drinkable ice cream, which is it's a milkshake. Anyway, you can like slurp on that as you walk to where you're going. So it's gonna cool your body down. Your hands are gonna feel cooler and it just tastes good. So the time will pass. I don't know, just a little bonus tip. Look for Coolish. So, do you feel like braving the summer heat in Tokyo? What do you think? Are you up for the challenge? Leave a comment below and let me know what the summer's like where you're from. Is it hot and humid, or is it more of a dry kind of heat, or does it even get hot at all? In Texas, one way that we beat the summer heat was basically by cranking up the AC no matter where we went and always slurping down a giant drink from either Sonic or Whataburger. But, you know, to each his own. If you'd like to see more videos like this, if you'd like to learn more about Japan and what it's like to live here, don't forget to like this video and subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any future uploads. Thank you so much for watching, and y'all have a good week.